Sports. We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Our long California tour concludes tonight, but hopefully this winning streak can continue. We are back at Angel Stadium, where the D-backs will look for their 5th straight win and get back to 500 on the year. A different look to the lineup again tonight. For the first time in his big league career, Paul Goldschmidt will start somewhere other than first base. It's the D-backs and the Angels on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Angel Stadium. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brentley along the way. It's the Diamondbacks and the Angels, the second in a 4-game home and home. One more here tonight, and then 2 games back home at Chase Field tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon. And that means an extended look at this Paul Goldschmidt, Mike Trout head-to-head here, BB. And after one night, it did not disappoint.
Not disappoint at all. Paul Goldschmidt doing what Goldie does. Just absolutely took command of the ball game. Hit his 18th home run of the season, a 3-run shot to straightaway center field. And in his last at-bat of the ball game, Mike Scioscia walked him intentionally. What a shot.
And then Mike Trout had the big hit for the Angels as they tried to come back against the Diamondback bullpen late in the ball game.
Yeah, they did a nice job of containing Albert Pujols, but Mike Trout eventually in his 3rd or 4th at bat, I think it was, of the ball game, hit that 2-run double in the 8th inning to put the Angels on the board. Fortunately, it wasn't enough.
And there was some bad news for the Diamondbacks. Ender Inciarte injured a right hamstring in the first inning last night. He's on the 15-day DL, and Danny Dorn has been recalled from the Reno Aces.
Yeah, Danny Dorn made quite an impression in his brief stay here earlier in the season. You see his .426 average down at Reno. And a flashback to a game against the Padres earlier this year. Danny Dorn with a big base hit to tie the ball game up and send it into extra innings. Probably the highlight of his career up to this point until we see him tonight.
He had an 0-2 count, 2 outs, 9th inning, and tied it, sent it into extra innings. The drive for 5. The Diamondbacks try to make it 5 in a row and get back to 500 on the year. First pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona.
Brought to you in part by Cox Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box.
Well, the Diamondbacks have won 4 straight tonight at Angel Stadium. Another chance to reach the summit of Mount 500. They've been climbing this mountain all year long since they were last at 500 back on April 24th. They were 8-8. The Diamondbacks have climbed back to within 1 game of 500 6 times, and in those games they are 0-6. But now they've won 4 in a row, and they have given themselves, Bob Brenly, another chance to take that Hillary step and reach the summit of Mount 500.
Well, that's a big step. They've had issues the last 6 efforts to take that big step and reach 500. However, the team is playing great baseball recently. The pitching staff has been outstanding. Hopefully you can jump on Garrett Richards early in this ball game and give Jeremy Hellickson an early lead.
And he is your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the LA Angels of Anaheim. Garrett Richards, a former first-round pick out of Oklahoma with very good stuff. Here's the D-backs catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia.
He's got a really good fastball. Moves both ways, kind of cuts it at times, throwing 96. Really, really good slider, 88 to 90. Then mixes in the curveball every once in a while, but really just has a lot of success with his velocity and the way the ball moves.
Richards, 27-year-old right-hander. He's won 6 of his 11 starts. The ERA this year just under 4. Last season he was pitching for a long time like a Cy Young candidate. This year, however, not quite as consistent, but the stuff can be outstanding when he's on his game.
Yeah, however, he hasn't been on his game over his last 5 starts. 3 wins and 2 losses. He's given up 32 hits in just over 26 innings, 21 runs over those 26 innings.
Look at Chip Hale's lineup tonight. A new look for the lineup.
Has to be a new look with no Ender Inciarte. A.J. Pollock leading off in center field. Danny Dorn getting the nod at first base. And with that, Paul Goldschmidt fills the DH spot. David Peralta out in left field. Yasmani Tomas in right. Jake Lamb down at third base. Chris Owings at second. Jared Saltalamacchia doing the catching. And Nick Ahmed at shortstop.
We are set to go on a beautiful Tuesday night in the Los Angeles area. A.J. Pollock leads it off against Garrett Richards. Doug Eddings is our plate umpire. And we are underway in Anaheim. There's strike 1.
Quite a contrast from Jared Weaver last night, who was mid-80s most of the ball game with his fastball. Garrett Richards will consistently hit the upper 90s. He cuts it, he sinks it. Has a nasty slider.
It's a fly ball to center field. An easy play for Mike Trout. 2 pitches, 1 out for Richards. And here from Diamond Bar, California, only about 10 minutes away from here. And he's got a lot of friends and family with us tonight. Played at Cal State Fullerton. That's 5 minutes up the road. It's Danny Dorn. His second career big league stint after 10 years in the minors. 3 for 9 in a 12-game run with the Diamondbacks in late April and early May. Getting the start tonight at first base with Paul Goldschmidt as the DH. And he belts the first pitch he sees into right center. Danny Dorn, welcome back. A 1-out single.
We saw his numbers here in the big leagues this year. 3 for 9, a 333 average. His numbers in Reno were like video game numbers. He was hitting 426, getting on base at a 470 clip. And the first pitch he sees from Garrett Richards, he promptly knocks into center field for a base hit.
And he's on first for Paul Goldschmidt, the DH, leading the majors in hitting, now up to 366. Also leading the major leagues in on-base percentage. And Goldie begins tonight with 14 hits in his last 24 at-bats. He was on base 4 times last night, a triple shy of the cycle. He was also walked intentionally. This is that when it's 2 balls and no strikes. Goldie has hit safely in 6 straight games. The last 5 have been multi-hit games. Just keeps getting better and better as the season progresses. It's amazing. Richards behind 3-0.
2-0 breaking ball there. Yeah, we've seen a lot of this recently. Teams that just don't want to give in to Goldie. Now behind 3-0 in the count. See if they even throw him a fastball near the strike zone here.
96 is in there, 3-1.
As if it's not hard enough to hit in the big leagues. They faced Jared Weaver last night, who was throwing pitches in the mid-60s up to the mid-80s. This guy's slowest off-speed pitch is faster than anything Jared Weaver threw in the ballgame last night.
Go get him, kid. Off the fist. Hopper to second base. Featherston bobbles it and can't recover in time. Goldie's aboard. The error on Taylor Featherston getting the start at second base. And the Diamondbacks have 2 on and only 1 out for David Peralta.
Angels made a couple of physical errors in the ball game last night as well. This is about as routine as it could possibly get. Featherston just clanked that ball, and as usual, Goldie hustling down that first baseline on a little dribbler to second, legs it out.
So Johnny Giavotella getting the start last night. He is the usual second baseman, but a different look to Mike Scioscia's lineup tonight. So E4 gets us to David Peralta, 255 and 5 homers. 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout last night. Base hit into left. Andy Green going to stop Dorn at third base, and the bases are loaded for Yasmani Tomas, who homered here last night. Dorn and Peralta both jumping on the first pitch from Garrett Richards.
A little humpback line drive. Dorn had to hold up momentarily to make sure Eric Ibar couldn't make a leaping catch on that line drive into left field, but that loads him up for Yasmani.
Garrett Richards dominant at times last year, but not pitching consistently at the same level this year. And Mike Scioscia has said the number of pitches Richards is throwing behind in the count are starting to catch up to him a little bit. The command has not quite been there. And the walks are a little bit troubling as well.
And the wild pitches. He led the American League with 22 wild pitches last season. He's got 7 already this year.
Chip Hale was preaching patience against this guy before the ball game today. Chip saw a lot of Richards when he was the bench coach in Oakland. So they're loaded with 1 out for Yasmani Tomas. 325 and 3 homers. He got number 3 last night. His second homer on this road trip, both going out to left field. And so the power starting to come to all fields for Tomas lately, as we were told it would. One misses down and away. This was Yasmani last night, now 16 RBIs in his last 25 games.
Got a breaking ball that stayed on the inside part of the plate, very similar to the home run he hit at Dodger Stadium on a breaking ball that stayed inside, and that one too he pulled to left field.
The 1-0 pitch. One and two.
That hard slider has a lot of downward movement. He really gets on top of that pitch. A lot of tight rotation, late break.
Gets Tomas to wave at that one. Slider, slider, slider retires Tomas, and that's the second out. A chance for Jake Lamb now. Danny Dorn is the runner at third. Paul Goldschmidt at second, and David Peralta at first. Lamb in there at 321 and a homer. Ball one.
Jake 1 for 4 with a single last night. He's got 5 hits on the road trip. Kicks away from Perez, but not too far away, so all the runners will hold up, and it's a ball and a strike. Rookie catcher Carlos Perez back there again tonight for Mike Scioscia.
Yeah, tested on this slider in the dirt. Jake Lamb, as well as Yasmani Tomas, must not be picking up the rotation on that pitch. Sometimes a pitcher can really disguise that slider well. Looks like a fastball to the hitter until that late movement.
96, the fastball against Richards to 1-2. Still kind of light out there, the mixture of sunlight and shadow. You can see all the sunlight on Richards' face on the mound out there. There is a glare here. A ball and 2 strikes. Off the glove, Ibar behind the bag at second, and he makes the play. Diamondbacks have a chance, but they leave him loaded. And we are underway in Anaheim, no score. Diamondbacks and the Angels, and on the mound for Arizona tonight, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher. It's the 28-year-old right-hander Jeremy Hellickson, coming off a difficult start his last time out Wednesday at Dodger Stadium, and tonight he gets to face Pujols and Trout. Here's Mike Trout on Jeremy Hellickson.
He's got good command on 3 pitches, fastball, changeup, curveball. Can't sit on really one pitch. He's got to stay up the middle against him, and hopefully he makes a mistake.
Well, hopefully not, Mike. Sorry, but Jeremy, a decision his last start against the Dodgers, a no decision, I should say.
Apparently they didn't tell him what the scouting report was for.
Read the cue card.
Yeah. Well, Trout is 2 for 4 lifetime against Jeremy with a homer and a double. He's also drawn a couple of base on balls. So we went to the guy who has seen him and had success against him.
Eric Ibar leads it off for the Angels. Jake Lamb in on the grass at third, and there's ball 1. Jeremy a no decision in that last start in L.A. Diamondbacks lost 7-6, and that snapped a string of 3 straight wins for Hellickson and a stretch of 4 consecutive wins for the Diamondbacks when Jeremy starts. So it's time to start a new streak here tonight. There's a lazy fly ball to short right field. Owings drifting out there, and CO has it 1 away. The lineup for Mike Scioscia's LA Angels of Anaheim.
Eric Ibar at shortstop, leading off. Cole Calhoun out in right field. Mike Trout in center field. And for Albert Pujols, this will be the first time he's hit 4th since coming over to the Angels. He'll be at first base. David Freese DHing once again. Matt Joyce in left field. Carlos Perez behind the plate. Kyle Kubica at third base, and Taylor Featherston at second base.
Mike Scioscia's team right at 500. They are scuffling right now. They've lost 8 of their last 12. 4.5 out of the AL West at the start of play today. Here's Cole Calhoun, the pride of Buckeye, Arizona. And Arizona State, 273, 6 homers. 0 for 4 last night. Good pitch there by Jeremy, but he's back even 1-1. Fly ball in that light sky, a long run for Peralta, but he's there underneath it. And that's the second out. Here comes Trout. Trout on base twice last night. He walked and then hit that 2-run double in the 8th inning. So he's at 297. He and Pujols both with 18 home runs. And as Bob mentioned, a different look to Mike Scioscia's lineup than he's had all season. He has dropped Trout to 3rd in the order, and Pujols sitting cleanup. This is just Trout's 4th start this year in the 3-hole for the Angels. He hit leadoff as a rookie 3 years ago, and he has spent most of his big league career batting 2nd.
Those Trout jerseys are big sellers here at this stadium. See them everywhere.
I bet they sell a few more over the next decade or so. Pride of Millville, New Jersey, Mike Trout. And he has been keeping up with Pujols' home run pace lately. Last 5 games, he's hitting over 440. He's homered 7 times in his last 15 games. Slow breaking ball drops in there for a strike, and it's 2-2.
That's a good curveball there from Jeremy Hellickson. That's what we talk about, stealing a strike. You've got a guy that's geared to hit fastball up there. You just roll that curveball up there in the middle of the strike zone, get back to even in the count.
And then goes with a fastball away. Trout gets a piece of it. Tough throw for Ahmed. Trout with good speed beats it out. It's slowly into the hole. Nick had to range over toward the third base side to get that one. They rule it a base hit. Glenn Sherlock on the phone.
Well, with Trout's speed coming out of that right-handed batter's box, that's a tough play for any shortstop to make. Nick did everything he could, got it into and out of his glove quickly, made an accurate throw to Danny Dorn, but just too much speed down that baseline for Mike Trout.
Remember, Mike Trout, when he was a rookie, led the American League in stolen bases. He stole 49 bags, so he can really fly up that line. And for the first time as an Angel, batting cleanup, it's Albert Pujols, 272 and 18 homers. 10 of those home runs have come in his last 17 games. There's the strike, 0-1. Pujols last night 0 for 3 with a walk. He also hit into a double play. Mike Scioscia trying to jumpstart this sluggish lineup. He has used the word continuity a lot lately. Looking for more offensive depth and offensive flow in his lineup, and not just relying on Trout and Pujols way up top. So he has tried to spread the wealth a little more here. Good pitch by Hellickson has Pujols fooled, and it's 0-2.
Possibly the biggest at bat in the game last night was when Pujols came up in that 8th inning. The Angels had already scored 3 runs on the Mike Trout double, and he hit a long fly ball to straightaway center field that A.J. Pollock was able to run down.
Lovely vintage as you watch the ball game here from Angel Stadium. 0-2 to Pujols. Keeping an eye down there at first base on Mike Trout. He has become less and less of a stolen base threat to begin his career, Mike Trout. Mentioned he led the league 3 years ago, 49 stolen bases. Stole 33 the following season, then just 16 last year. But it has not affected his ability to score once he gets on base. Mike Trout has led the league in runs scored each of the last 3 seasons. Long set by Hellickson. Here it is. This is away. Can't get Albert to bite on that one, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Pujols, the oldest Angel on the team at 35. He says Mike Trout at 23 is the best player on the Angels team. Says guys like Trout come along once every 25 years. They used to say that about Pujols. Tapper back to the mound, right to Jeremy, the former Gold Glover, has it. And he strands the 2-out single through 1, no score in Anaheim. Every D-backs home run raises $12,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online. It's homerunchallenge.org. Second inning at Angel Stadium. Chris Owings, Jared Saltalamacchia, and Nick Ahmed. 7-8-9 against Garrett Richards. Chris Owings trying to bunt for a base hit. Kubitsa's well back at third, and CO is aboard. A nice heads-up play by the D-back second baseman, their 3rd hit tonight.
Man, I'm telling you, you couldn't stand in that batter's box with a glove and catch that ball and roll it out there any better than that. I mean, that almost died before Kubitsa even got to it. Easy bunt base hit for CO.
Nicely done. Doubled and scored a run last night. A bunt single to open up his night tonight. And here's Jared Saltalamacchia. Just over 130 for the year. Angels have the shift on for Salty. Kubitsa, the third baseman, is in the shortstop spot. They slide the shortstop Ibar over. He's behind the second base umpire, Adrian Johnson. A slightly different configuration than we usually see.
I prefer the way the Diamondbacks do it, moving the third baseman over on the second base side of the field where he has less ground to cover, and leave the shortstop alone on the left side because he's the guy that has the best range, is used to playing on that left side of the infield and covering a lot of ground.
Oh, CO is going. Caught himself. Dave McKay had him going on first movement right there. And then suddenly hit the brakes.
We've seen that a number of times this year. Such a good jump, they can't believe it.
I think they get a little freaked out.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm running to second, and nobody else on the field is moving right now.
So he stays put at first. 1-1 to Salty.
I talked to Dave McKay about Garrett Richards before the ball game. Most of all to ask about all the wild pitches, but Dave offered that Garrett Richards is very quick to the plate, but they think they see something in his delivery that they'll be able to exploit tonight, and maybe that was it. CO taking off for second while Richards was standing stationary on the mound.
Yeah, he will uncork one every now and then. Last year, outstanding for the Angels, but even in just under 170 innings, he still somehow found a way to lead the league in wild pitches. A ball and a strike to Salty. Hits it up in the air and drives it out toward Joyce, who's there in the gap in left center. And that's the first out. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop. Well, you can barely see Chris Owings behind Pujols.
It's an eclipse.
It's a little bit of a mismatch there. And CO's standing on the bag, too. You still can't see him. Ahmed, 224, 3 homers. And a nice night here last night. A pair of hits in his series opener, a double and a single. He scored twice. Pujols holding Owings on the bag at first. That one is off the glove of Perez, and Owings moves up.
He just clanked that ball behind home plate. Yeah, his glove goes all the way to the backstop. That'll be a pass ball on Perez behind the plate.
And Owings in scoring position. 1 out, a 1-0 count on Ahmed. Nick, in his last 20 plate appearances, has reached base safely 9 times, 6 hits and 3 walks. All on this road trip, so the at-bats continue to improve. He cut it to 2-0.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, you know what that means. Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
That was the great thing about the Tomas homer last night. It made it 5 Diamondback runs, so sometimes you got to live Tomas. That one misses up, and it's 3 balls and a strike. A.J. Pollock back as the leadoff man now that Ender Inciarte is on the DL. 3-1 pitch. That gets behind Perez. That's ball 4, and Owings will get another free base. Another pass ball.
That one looked like it might have been a cross-up, just judging by the way Perez reacted to that pitch. I mean, you can imagine if you're expecting a 97-mile-an-hour fastball and your pitcher throws a breaking pitch, you almost have no chance to keep that ball in front, off the glove, all the way to the backstop again.
Well, the Diamondbacks, who had bases loaded, 1 out in the first and could not get a run across, have another threat here in the second. They're on the corners with 1 out for the top of the order. And the frustrations for Mike Scioscia's team continue. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, his second trip to the mound in 2 innings. Owings is the runner at third and Ahmed at first. A.J. Pollock flying out to center his first at bat tonight. Chip Hale said before the game A.J. will be the primary leadoff man with Inciarte on the DL. And as Chip pointed out, the Diamondbacks actually began this year thinking that A.J. would hit leadoff for them, so it's not that big a change, although, as Chip says, the lineup will certainly have a different dynamic with Inciarte on the shelf. Kick save and a beauty there by Perez, who is hanging on back there.
Yeah, we talked about the big arm of Richards and that fastball in the mid to upper 90s. A.J. Pollock, 4th highest batting average in the National League this season against fastballs.
This guy can bring it. He's an Oklahoma Sooner. First round pick back in 2004. It's a fly ball out to Calhoun in right. Owens is at third. CO will come on in. It's an RBI for Pollock and a 1-0 Diamondback lead. Brings up Danny Dorn. Danny singled on the first pitch he saw back in the big leagues. His 2 pass balls charged to Perez really came back to bite the Angels there as Owens can come on in the fly ball.
Yeah, nice at bat by AJ to get a pitch he could lift in the air to the outfield.
I tell you what, you're a 10-year minor league guy. It's nice to get a little respect. Danny Dorn grew up 10 minutes from this ballpark. They just introduced him on the PA system as A.J. Pollock. I mean, Danny, come on, man. No respect at all.
He's going to earn some respect if he continues to swing the bat the way he has between Reno and the big leagues this year.
Cal State Fullerton just up the road, about 5 minutes away. Diamond Bar, California, 10-minute drive hotel. Roller to second, Featherston. They go the short way for the force on Ahmed, and that's the inning. But the Diamondbacks score first, and they lead it 1-0. Danny Dorn, hometown boy, used to actually work in this ballpark, selling ice cream at Angels games. How about that? And here he is.
That guy right there might be playing first base for somebody next year at this time.
Just recalled from AAA Reno with Ender Inciarte on the DL. David Freese, the Angels DH again tonight. And he leads off the bottom of the second inning. Freese hitting .241 and 9 homers. Hitless in the cleanup spot as the DH last night. He's batting 5th here tonight in Mike Scioscia's revamped lineup. flare along the right field line. That is drifting foul. Jeremy Hellickson making his second start on this California tour. He started Wednesday at Dodger Stadium, and it was a rough night. Went only 3 2/3. He'd gone at least 6 full innings in each of his 4 starts previous to that. Dodgers got him for 5 runs, all earned, 6 hits, gave up 2 homers, both early in the ball game, both mistake pitches. Really a big one to Puig in the second, a 3-run homer. Yasmani Grandal in the third. Comes back to strikeout freeze, his first strikeout. So if Jeremy can, we heard Mike Trout say, avoid that mistake pitch, he's generally going to be okay.
He's had a good curveball in the early going tonight. A lot of late break, going straight down toward the ground. He's stolen the strike with one. That time got a swinging strike with a curveball down in the zone.
Well, one of the biggest problems with the Angels offense this year, and a lot of people will tell you this, is this guy right here, Matt Joyce. They really are right-hand heavy, and they identified that need in the offseason. They made a deal with Tampa Bay to bring Joyce in here, and it just has not worked out. He's at 183 with 4 homers. Last time his batting average started with a 2 was April 18th. He was sat down for a few games by Mike Scioscia because he's been such a disappointment here. Just can't get it going. And Scioscia was asked a lot about that this weekend. And he says the Angels, right now they're just grinding it out with Joyce. And it's just not getting the right result. So he's almost, it sounds like on life support here. And he says Joyce is just wind up tighter than a drum right now, and it's just got to exhale a little bit and go from there. Two 1 pitch. And Matt Joyce having trouble with off-speed pitches. That's been the word around the league. He has really struggled with big, slow, loopy curveballs, sliders, that kind of thing. Can't quite catch up to that fastball, and it's 3-2. And Mike Scioscia said right now Joyce just not in sync. He's not squaring balls up. He's much better than he's shown, but right now just can't find it. Perez, the catcher, on deck. That was a nice power bat for years for Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay.
But it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're out here early every day working on your hitting. You pick up the newspaper in the morning and see your average starting with a 1. See your manager wringing his hands over what happened to Matt Joyce. Where's his power? Where's the bat? And you bring that with you to the ballpark every day, and it just compounds on itself.
It's the 3-2 pitch up in the air. It's a little pop-up. Got under that changeup a bit. Knowings ranges way out there to short right center.
Yeah, while we have a moment, let's take a look at our Valley Honda dealer keys to the game. How about all the way through? We've had 4/5 of the starters pitch outstanding ball games. It's Jeremy Hellickson's turn to follow suit, and we're going to once again try to climb that mountain, Mount 500. 6 other times this season the Diamondbacks have had an opportunity. All 6 times they lost.
All those 6 games you see came when the Diamondbacks were 1 under 500. 6 chances to get there, and so far 0 for 6. Is it a mental thing, you think, or just a coincidence?
Just a coincidence. I mean, that May 25th game against the Cardinals was an extra inning loss. A couple times they got blown out. I think it's just run up against a good starting pitcher, or offense is swinging the bat wells on that day that you're ready to climb the mountain.
253 and 2 homers for the rookie catcher, Carlos Perez. 0 for 3 last night. This is the guy that's taken over the catching duties here with Chris Iannetta really struggling, the former Rocky. Hellickson ahead 1-2.
Another good curveball from Jeremy. He's feeling that pitch early on. Sometimes it takes a couple innings to get a real good feel for it. You have to bounce a few, hopefully not hang any. But right out of the chute today, Jeremy's had a good curveball.
Can't get him to bite there, and it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kyle Kubica would be next. Over the head of Ahmed and into left center, a base hit for Carlos Perez. Second hit for the Angels against Jeremy Hellickson. Brings up the former Texas State player, just like Paul Goldschmidt, Kyle Kubica. 4 for 16, 7 strikeouts to start his major league career. Just made his big league debut last Wednesday. His second straight start at third. He was 1 for 3 last night.
Good stop by Salty that time. Curveball in the dirt.
Kubica has been a prolific doubles hitter in the minor leagues. 57 games at Salt Lake this year. 21 doubles. The home runs haven't necessarily been there. And that's raised a few questions about his long-term viability at third. More of a line drive hitter and an on-base percentage type than a slugging home run hitter. Takes a big cut at that one and misses. It's 1-1.
Kubica had a big error in the ball game last night in the 5th inning with Nick Ahmed on at third base. Perez tried to pick him off, and Kubica just couldn't handle the throw down there at third base and went on into left field, and Nick scored.
It's a guy they like a lot. 3rd round pick by the Braves out of Texas State 4 years ago. Angels picked him up for a pair of minor leaguers in January. 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Jeremy falling behind in some counts here. It's 3-1. Featherston, the number 9 hitter, is on deck. 35 pitches, 21 strikes.
We talked about Jeremy Hellickson's curveball in the early going. Going to show you a few of them right here. Stole a strike against Mike Trout, just rolled it up there in the middle of the plate. Better one that time, down around the knees to get David Freese swinging. And then a big swing and a miss right there by Carlos Perez.
Nearly 60% fastball, so when he does drop that changeup or that curveball in there, it's effective. He strikes out Kubica. His second strikeout strands the 2-out single. Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead.
to first base coach Dave McKay for the D-backs, who coached Albert Pujols for over a decade in St. Louis. And he said that he actually set up a meeting this spring training for Paul Goldschmidt and Albert to meet, go out to dinner, talk shop a little bit. And in fact, it wasn't Dave's idea originally. Paul Goldschmidt told me that, if he knows a coach that had coached a player at one point, he said, I'll throw it out there that maybe, we can get together. I can pick his brain a little bit. So that's exactly what Mac did for Goldie. And he said that Albert Pujols was so incredibly impressed with Goldie. I asked Goldie to share a few tips that Albert gave him. He said, no, I can't share those secrets. But he said he was incredibly impressed that he would take the time out to spend with the young player, guys.
Thank you, Jody. You can see the Angels have the utmost respect for Goldie. The shift is on. 3 defenders on the left side of the infield. I'm not really surprised to hear that about Pujols and watching him here these 2 days. He's a very sort of laid-back dude. He doesn't give you that impression, but when you watch him around his teammates, around the other players and coaches, he really seems to be enjoying himself these days. He's always laughing, joking with guys on both teams. He's loosened up a bit, it seems.
Well, he's got another similarity with Goldie. They're both very, very giving their time and their money to charities, showing up unsolicited. Albert Pujols has his own family foundation started in 2005, dedicated to love, care, and development of people with Down syndrome.
2-2 pitch to Goldie. This is away with a fastball, and it's full 3-2.
I think Pujols and Goldie both realize that they have a lot to offer other than just being a baseball player on the field. A lot of people look up to them for various reasons, and they use that for good. They're out in the community, showing up at events, as I mentioned, donating their time and money, lending their name to different events.
Well, the work that Goldie and his wife Amy do with PCH, Phoenix Children's Hospitals, just unbelievable.
Right.
They are really dedicated. And there's a little Goldie on the way due soon, too, so we'll watch out for that. There they are. David Peralta singled his first time up, swung at the first pitch against Richards. Takes a cut at the first one again, and that one bit him. Can't afford to lose another outfielder here.
He's got that protective guard on the front ankle, but as usual, I don't know if it hit the guard or hit an unprotected area, but boy, did he go down in a hurry.
There's Ender Inciarte on the DL with a right hamstring strain. Looks like it might have got him on the foot. Doug Eddings will give David a moment or two to collect himself.
Yeah, it's funny. You give him a moment or two to collect himself. He'll finish his at bat. He'll keep playing in this ball game. But just imagine driving a 90-mile-an-hour pitch off your big toe. That's not going to go away anytime soon. You're going to have some swelling, some bleeding in that area. Might have trouble putting his shoe on after the ball game.
Well, you got to keep the outfielders we have here healthy. David is, that's first. You can't lose him. David, as Chip Hale said today, is the backup center fielder with Ender Inciarte on the DL. So if something were to happen to AJ, God forbid, then it'd be Peralta in center. And that's it. And Chip told us today the outfield alignment that we see here tonight, which is Peralta in left, Pollock in center, Tomas in right. With Ender hurt, it's probably going to be like this for a while now. Those 3 guys out there just about every night.
And if you wanted to get another left-handed bat, you could start Danny Dorn in the outfield. Hasn't played so much outfield this year, but he's played a lot in the past.
Yeah, that's an option. And Chip says they feel fine with Danny out there. He's played mostly first base recently, but he's played a lot of outfield in the minor leagues. Ball and 2 strikes.
Another big false jump over there at first base. Goldie, just like Chris Owings, had such a big jump he couldn't believe it, so he stopped. Whoa. And even through all that, Garrett Richards didn't step off the rubber. He didn't throw to first base. He went ahead and delivered the ball to home plate.
2-2.
Yeah, Dave McKay told me that Richards can be very quick to the plate, and sometimes guys who are really quick to the plate don't pay a lot of attention to the base runners because nobody ever runs on them. So if you guess right and take off at just the right time, you can still steal a base against Richards.
Goldie hold, Peralta, a roller to second, Featherston. Ibar has no turn there. And they get the force on Goldschmidt. Peralta's aboard.
Well, what else do you expect? He does everything right on the field. He breaks up double plays right. Go in hard, make sure you can reach that base. Goldie clipped it with his foot as he slid by, and Ibar just said, "Get me out of here.
I surrender.
I don't want anything to do with this big guy sliding toward me."
Hard to blame him. So it's Peralta, the runner at first base. One away for Tomas, who struck out his first time. And remember that first at bat? It was just a festival of sliders, and Tomas chased all of them. So let's see how he does here. Bounces that one to Kubica at third. And Featherston turns the double play. 5-4-3 gets Richards out of the inning. Bottom third coming up, 1-0 Diamondbacks.
When I was in high school, I sold ice cream and peanuts at the games, so it's going to be fun to be out there on the field instead of selling peanuts to the fans.
How many tickets for tonight then?
Just my immediate family, pretty much. My wife's out here. I think I got about 6 or 7.
That isn't a moment to cherish. I don't know what is, to go from selling peanuts and ice cream to being on the big league field.
Oh, I know it. I mean, when I was in high school, I kind of looked down there and kind of envisioned myself out there on the field playing one day, and so to be able to do that tonight, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Danny Dorn, that is his story, from a vendor here, peanuts and ice cream, to being out on the field. And he told me he wasn't really a diehard fan of any particular team, but obviously the Angels being the closest team, a job in high school, a little bit of extra money, and he is so glad to have his family here. Of course, Danny Dorn, 30 years old, making his debut this year. He really knows what it is to persevere and put in the work to get to this level, guys.
Got to be quite a moment for him, Jody, that's for sure, in his hometown ballpark. Diamond Bar only about 10 minutes away. Taylor Featherston, the Angels' second baseman, leads off the Anaheim third. 3 for 33 this year. A rookie Rule 5 pick. He's got a pair of hits in his last 4 at-bats after opening his big league career. 0 for 22. Coming at you, Bob Brenly.
Nope, that's Goobies.
Kubica, wow, perfectly positioned.
Nice. Danny Dorn, you may have noticed in that little report Jody did. See the name tags above the lockers? Chris Owings to the left there. That's nice and printed. Beautiful font. Danny Dorn's is written with a Sharpie. That means he just got called up and they didn't have time to print him a name tag.
And then earlier in the ball game in his hometown park, they introduced him as A.J. Pollock on the PA. A little pop-up to shortstop. Ahmed's under it. By the way, Taylor Featherston from TCU. And we should mention that right now, Vanderbilt and TCU are playing each other in the College World Series. Vandy leads the Horned Frogs 1-0 in the bottom of the 9th inning. And that was a matchup literally head-to-head of the Diamondbacks' top 2 picks in the draft this year.
How about that?
Dansby Swanson, the shortstop, and Alex Young, the pitcher. Young got the start for TCU as Eric Ibar steps in. And it was great to get to watch Alex Young. We watched the ball game all afternoon here. Alex Young, in starting that game against Vanderbilt for 6 innings, had a no-hitter going, 1 walk and 12 strikeouts. We're watching him thinking, wait, we're getting this guy? That'll work.
And he's apparently been watching the Diamondbacks and seeing all these no-hitters, near no-hitters that they've been racking up lately.
He just wants to fit in.
Yeah,
that's
right,
all.
yeah.
Young ended up going 7 2/3 innings in that ball game. Gave up just 1 run, had 12 strikeouts. A homer to lead off the 7th for Vanderbilt broke up the no-no, and it's still the only run of the ball game. With TCU up down 1-0, bottom 9. You ever get out there to the College World Series?
No, I've never been.
I've never either. I'd love to go. Everybody that has been to that event raves about it. So folks in Omaha just do an amazing job.
If we could just get them to push the College World Series back to November,
would make it more convenient.
We might be able to go, yeah.
2-2. Diamondbacks, of course, went very college player heavy in their draft this year. A lot of collegiate players, not too many high schoolers. They want guys who can make quick impacts at the big league level. Dansby Swanson, number 1. Alex Young, number 2, and on down the list. 2-2 misses away to Ibar, and it's full 3-2. Cole Calhoun, the former Sun Devil, on deck. Bounced over the mound, right to Ahmed. Now the Angels TV booth is just to our left. Watch Victor Rojas and Mark Gubitzer right there. There's BB ducking for cover.
Absolutely.
And Mark makes a great play. Jose Mota to our right, working Angels radio because of the way the booths are positioned and the height just behind the backstop here. You're in prime territory to get hit with a comebacker. So Jose has a glove. He broadcast the game with a glove, which he says he uses all the time. Cole Calhoun flat out his first time. This is well hit, left center field, but easy for Peralta. And it's a 1-2-3 third for Jeremy Hellickson, who's got a 1-0 lead. here at Chase Field. Sunday, June 21st, dads will get to take home this D-backs dad t-shirt in honor of Father's Day, courtesy of Audi. And then on July 18th, you can get this. This is a high item here, the A.J. Pollock Star Wars bobblehead. On June 25, complete your collection with the Randy Johnson Hall of Fame bobblehead. Get your tickets right now at dbacks.com. Big giveaway days coming up, so we'll see you there. Jake Lamb leads off the fourth against Garrett Richards. Jake grounded out to short his first time. Chip Hale told us today he still isn't quite ready to run Jake Lamb out there 5-6 days in a row coming off that foot injury. Not quite there yet. And so even with Yasmani Tomas playing right field all the time with Ender Inciarte on the DL, Chip says we will still see Aaron Hill or Cliff Pennington getting some time at third base, especially against the occasional lefty. Got to get those guys some at-bats as well.
Yeah, you want to keep them sharp because there's going to be at-bats late in a ball game where Aaron Hill and or Cliff Pennington coming off the bench. You need a big base hit from them. You want them to have some live game action. Maybe not in left field, but third base. Cliff Pennington, though, I'll tell you what, it was kind of a running joke last night, but you can't deny the fact that he had a huge influence on that ball game, playing a position he'd never played before.
Lamb shoots it out to short left, and it drops in. I was talking with Tom Candiotti about that earlier today, and Candy said he has never seen a guy have so much fun playing a major league game as Cliff Pennington appeared to on his 31st birthday here last night.
Yeah, routine fly ball, no problem. A little smile on Penny's face that time. They got a little more difficult with passing time, though. This is a screaming liner hit right at him. Able to make a nice play. And then perhaps the best play of the night. That ball pulled down into the left field corner. Runner was running from first base to third. Penny comes up, throws to second, and gets Ibar trying to sneak in the back door there.
Chris Owings singled and scored a run. His first time up back in the second inning. Diamondbacks have had traffic on the bases around Garrett Richards all night long, but so far just one run to show for it. Garcia dropped down that perfect bunt with Kyle Kibitsa playing back at third. Moved along both to second and third on two different pass balls. Charged catcher Carlos Perez and came in on A.J. Pollock's sacrifice fly. That's how we got to 1-0 D-backs. Richards was outstanding at times last season. He opened the year 4-0. And then he went on a run through June and July, during which he was 7-0 in 9 starts and pitched to an ERA of 1.25. He was unbeatable for much of last summer. But then a horrible injury ended his year in August in Boston. That's in the seats. Needed left knee surgery. Tore the patellar tendon in the left knee, covering first in a game against the Red Sox, and that ended his year. But there were times where he was as good as any pitcher in the game last year. Two balls and one strike to Chris Owings. Jake Lamb, the runner at first. He's starting to pay a little more attention down there, Garrett Richards.
I don't even know the Diamondbacks have not attempted a stolen base in this game. They've had a couple of big enough jumps to steal bases over there at first, and Mike Scioscia, being a former catcher, was paying close attention, so he's probably going to have Richards throw over there a little more often, maybe hold the ball on the mound a little more often.
There you go. He will signal in throws from the catcher too, won't he, to either base, first or third? Yeah, we saw that last night on the one that got away from Kibitsa.
Yeah, he likes to call pickoffs for his catcher. A lot of times it's just the catcher reacting to what he sees defensively, but Scioscia will occasionally call for pickoffs.
Popped up into that light sky. Featherston at second base.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Jared Saltalamacchia flied out his first time, getting the start behind the plate tonight. Shift is on for Salty with 3 infielders on the right-hand side. Richards missing a lot here. He's not been this year the same pitcher he was last season. He's shown flashes, but certainly nothing close to the consistency he demonstrated all summer last year. And he says he's been searching for it a little bit this year, maybe trying to do too much at times. A lot of it has to do with that front foot. Richards says he's worked a lot with their pitching coach, Mike Butcher, on that front foot, that landing foot. And it's the same thing we've talked about with Addison Reed, getting it to plant directly toward the plate. They believe that's why his command has not been what it was last year. And he's trying to get a little better there, a little cleaner with that delivery. Give him a better chance to throw strikes around the zone. And he keeps missing here. Mike Scioscia says Richards has just got to be cleaner. He says, you know, it might just not be locked in. He got on a roll last year. It's still in there, they believe. I don't think he's off by much. He's having trouble finding it here. He's behind on Salty, 3-1. And he has, talk about an up and down season, Garrett Richards. There you can see barely more strikes than balls. Ever since May 10th, he has alternated decisions in every one of his starts. He has followed his last 3 wins with a loss every time. And he's coming off a win in his previous start. That was last Thursday at Tampa Bay. So if the pattern holds here, he should lose today. Fingers crossed. He walks Saltalamacchia. 3rd walk issued by Garrett Richards. And it's another mound visit for Mike Butcher. This is number 3. Three consecutive innings with visits from the pitching coach. Hey fans, be at Chase Field Wednesday and Thursday as we continue this series with the Angels. Don't forget Thursday's game is a matinee 12:40 start Thursday afternoon. It's also one of the many Throwback Thursdays we'll have for you over the course of the year. Presented by Chase, and you can get a throwback t-shirt to wear to the game when you get Thursday's ticket using your Chase credit or debit card. For details, visit dbacks.com/throwback, and we'll see you there.
Well, and if you're a hitter and you're paying attention from that on-deck circle or from the first base dugout watching Garrett Richards in this inning, he has not been able to throw either of his breaking pitches close to the strike zone. So just go up there and lay on a fastball right now.
Nick Ahmed walked his first time.
Breaking ball in the dirt.
And he chased it. Richards a winner that last start. That was at Tropicana Field last week. He beat the Rays. 7 innings of 4-hit ball. He had 7 strikeouts. But had a very rough time of it in his outing previous to that at Yankee Stadium. It was the worst start of his career just 2 starts ago. He retired only 2 batters. 6 runs all earned on 5 hits. Did not survive the first inning. But he's ahead 0-2 on Ahmed.
95-mile-an-hour heater up and in.
Not much you can do with that.
No. I mean, that's a bat breaker right there. Right in on your knuckles.
Pops it up, shallow center. Trout coming in. 2 down.
Need some kind of a big base hit here. The Diamondbacks in last night's ball game, 3 times they got their leadoff man on base to start an inning, and all 3 times they were able to score him. Also happened tonight in the 2nd inning when Chris Owings reached on that bunt single, came around to score on the sac fly by A.J. Pollock, and Jake Lamb led off this inning with the single. Got to get him on that plate. Don't want to break the streak.
AJ drove in the game's only run with a sac fly his last time up. D-backs had the bases loaded, 1 out in the first, could not get a run across. Still just 1-0. Slider misses up, and it's 1-0 to Pollock. Another productive day at the plate last night. He singled, he walked, he scored a run, had an RBI flyout. He's got 8 hits on the road trip, including his home run at Dodger Stadium last week. That's in there for a strike, 1-1. On the ground to Kibitz at third. He bobbles it, picks it up, tries to recover, and throws him out in time to get Pollock. And the Diamondbacks strand 2. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. We'll see Mike Trout lead off the 4th, and then it's Albert Pujols. And Jody Jackson with you. The Diamondbacks lead the Angels 1-0, trying to assault the summit of Mount 500 and get back to even on the year. A win tonight for the Diamondbacks would be 5 in a row and put them at 32-32 on the season. But it's never easy beating these guys when you've got Mike Trout and Albert Pujols sitting back to back, and that's how the Angels will start the 4th against Jeremy Hellickson.
He'd much rather face these two guys with nobody on base, which is the situation Jeremy finds himself in right now, with Trout leading off the inning.
It's a way to do it. And again, Mike Scioscia looking for continuity. That's his favorite word in this lineup. The Angels offense just has not clicked. It's been a lot of Trout and Pujols and not a whole lot else, so he's dropped those two guys down 1 spot in the order. Trying to create some more depth in this lineup and make them a little less top-heavy.
Yeah, that's what the Diamondbacks were going through the majority of the beginning of the season this year. A lot of production from 1, 2, 3, and 4, but after that it was slim pickings for a long time until some of the guys started to pick up the offensive weight recently.
That's a high fly ball foul. See that right field corner? That's where they put the writers here. I mean, usually the writers, esteemed members of the Fourth Estate, they're right behind home plate where we are, but here in this ballpark, they're way out in the right field corner. Or, as you said last night, that's where they belong, right? Just kidding.
With a cage around it, yeah.
1 and 2 on Trout. But I wanted to take a moment here while we were speaking about the writers to say hi to Joy Gilbert. That, of course, is the mother of the great Steve Gilbert, who does such a great job at MLB.com covering the Diamondbacks. I want to say hi to Joy and wish her get well soon wishes from her son Steve and all of us here for the Diamondbacks at Fox Sports Arizona. So Joy Gilbert, we'll see you at the ballpark soon, we hope. 2-2 to Trout. Got that breaking ball in there. He just did get a piece of it.
You see, you got Trout. Angels used to have a salmon. That looks like an ugly catfish on the left.
Thank you. Nice save.
Wow, talk about fish in a barrel. That's the smallest lake I've ever seen.
How did you not make it up
I
there?
don't know.
2-2. It's right in your wheelhouse. Hellickson really working to try and put Trout away here with 2 strikes. Angels have lost 8 of their last 12. The offense, 7 times in those last 12 games, have scored just 3 or fewer runs. They just cannot find it. Another 2-2 pitch to Trout. Got him. Jeremy Hellickson strikes out Mike Trout. He's now set down 5 in a row. That's his 3rd strikeout.
Yeah, Jeremy's not overpowering with his fastball, but 92 up above the top of the zone. Gets an awkward check swing that time from Mike Trout for the first out of the inning.
And it brings up Pujols. His first ever start as an Angel in the cleanup spot. .538 career home runs, 16th on baseball's all-time list. The fly ball to Pollock in center. Well, he really had to battle to get Trout. Pujols made that easy on him. Take a look at our T-Mobile game-changing players. The Diamondbacks starters the last 4 games as we complete tonight, Bob. 1 turn through the rotation. They've been outstanding.
Outstanding is the word, and we were hoping Jeremy would follow suit tonight, and so far so good. We talked about it the last couple of days. When that rotation gets on a roll, you want to just join the party. You don't want to be the guy to break the chain, and Jeremy Hellickson pitching like he wants to put a bunch of zeros on the board tonight.
He struck out David Freese his first time up. Freese jumps on the first pitch. It's a soft fly out to left to Peralta. And Jeremy Hellickson is now set down 7 straight. He leads it 1-0.
This date in Major League Baseball history, June 16, 1992, the Angels became the first of 3 Major League teams to retire Nolan Ryan's number. The other 2 being the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers. when Nolan was pitching here for Anaheim. 138 and a 121 record. Had an ERA just over 3 in 291 games. Pretty special when you get your uniform number retired by 3 different franchises.
Of course, Nolan Ryan started out as a Met. He was actually a relief pitcher on those 69 Miracle Mets. But it's here with the Angels that he became, who he turned out to be, the guy that everybody was afraid of. Danny Dorn, just up from AAA Reno, leads off the 5th. He singled in his first at bat tonight, 1 for 2. Talk about those great Angel teams they've had here over the years. You go back late 70s, early 80s. Bobby Grich, Brian Downing, Rod Carew. Hit the plate or the ground, says Doug Eddings. So many great players here. Doug DeCinces. Of course, Reggie Jackson was here for a while. Bob Boone, the catcher for so many years.
Don Baylor.
He's an MVP here. And 2 great former Angel pitchers just to our left. So you've got Mark Gubica working TV and Mark Langston doing Angels radio. George Hendrick was here for a long time. And the guy that as a kid used to come watch all those teams play was Mark Grace. 0-2. Yikes. Gracie, his family moved from the Tennessee area, I think Memphis, just about 10 minutes from this ballpark when he was in junior high school. So here's Gracie. He was telling me yesterday about coming here to watch all those great Angel teams play. As Dorn strikes out to lead off the 5th. Gracie said, they'd look in the paper, hey, Tanana's pitching, Frank Tanana, let's go see him. Nolan Ryan, he said you'd come down here, you get a seat for $4-6 and watch Frank Tanana and Nolan Ryan and all those great players we just mentioned. Rick Burleson at shortstop and all those guys. Here's Goldie. He's reached on an error and walked. That was just the 2nd strikeout for Garrett Richards. Goldie's on-base percentage this season coming into the game tonight was .484, which leads the major leagues. I mean, that's nuts. .484, that means he's reaching base safely in 48% of his plate appearances. So roughly half the time he comes up to bat, he gets on base. Half the time. Which is also one reason why he leads the National League in runs scored. Which last time I checked is the whole point here, to try and score runs.
Get on the plate.
Yeah.
Saw Goldie checking the knob of that bat, make sure he was choked up exactly the distance he wants to be in a 2-strike count. We see him do that all the time.
1-2 pitch. Right back at you. Richards knocks it down, recovers, and throws him out. Just the 2nd time the Angels have retired Goldie successfully here in this series.
Richards reacts in self-defense to that one hopper right back to the mound. Almost took a little bit too long to get that ball over to Pujols at first. We know Goldie runs everything out like his hair's on fire and very nearly beat that out. A one hopper back to the mound.
David Peralta, a single in the 1st. Well, David has done a nice job of this strike zone discipline this year. His walk rate has doubled from last season. And he's in there in the cleanup spot again from the left-hand side between the 2 righties, Goldie and Tomas. He's got 5 hits and 20 at-bats on the road trip, including a 2-hit game at San Francisco over the weekend. Richards behind, 3 balls and no strikes. 75 pitches, only 44 strikes for Garrett Richards. That one's in there. Now it's Monty on deck. Bounce to shortstop. Ibar charges. Almost pulls Pujols off the bag, but Richards works a 1-2-3 fifth. Diamondbacks lead the Angels 1-0. Arizona is brought to you in part by Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. By Goodwill, where your good deeds are working. By Card Power from Arizona Federal Credit Union. Now that's the power of us. And by Tire Pros. For the best selection of Continental and General brand tires, visit one of the 22 locally owned Arizona Tire Pros locations. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, where so far Jeremy Hellickson has been outstanding for the Diamondbacks as we start the home half of the fifth. Matt Joyce will lead it off for the Angels. Jeremy so far has retired the last 7 batters he's faced. He's given up only 2 hits, both singles. And Joyce flies out to left. He has recorded his last 3 outs, Jeremy Hellickson, on 3 pitches. And he is now set down 8 in a row.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5. On 1 pitch. The fly out by Calhoun to end the third, the fly out by Pujols to center, the fly out by Freese to left, and then that one by Joyce to left. Very efficient.
He's got 3 strikeouts, has not walked a batter, just 2 Angel base runners through 4 to third. And here's the catcher, Carlos Perez. He takes a strike. Perez making a quick impression here. He was called up from the minors first week of May. Hit a walk-off home run in his first game of the big leagues. And through his first 17 games, had 17 hits. And has done an outstanding job by all accounts behind the plate, both throwing out attempted base stealers and handling the pitching staff. He's become a favorite of most of the Angel starters. Never easy being a catcher when Mike Scioscia is your manager, I bet. The scrutiny level is pretty high.
They like what they've seen from Perez so far. They like him behind the plate, even though he's looked a little rough around the edges. A couple of pass balls today, one of those probably a cross-up. But even some borderline pitches in the ball game last night, he kind of pushed him out of the zone rather than push him back toward the zone.
2-2.
Well, this run that the D-backs pitching staff is on, 38 of the last 40 innings, they've held the opposition scoreless, and there's a reason for that. Keeping the leadoff guys off base. Don't allow the opportunity for a big inning by letting that first guy get on base.
Leadoff man 0 for 5 for the Angels tonight, and Hellickson has his 4th strikeout, 2 down in the 5th. This is as good as we've seen Jeremy Hellickson this year.
wonder if it's a comfort factor pitching in a ballpark that he's very familiar with in his days with the Tampa Bay Rays. His numbers, just a couple of starts here at Angel Stadium. They were good starts. Seems to be very comfortable on the mound here.
Third baseman Kyle Kubica. Angels desperately looking for somebody who hits left-handed to do something in this lineup. Remember, they had Josh Hamilton. They were counting on him. They also brought in Matt Joyce. They figured to be okay. But the Hamilton thing ended badly here. He's now back with the Rangers. And Joyce has slumped terribly. And really, Cole Calhoun is the one productive left-hand bat they have. And so they're giving Kubica a look here. Trying to get something going from the left-hand side. He struck out his first time. Just 4 for 17 in the big leagues. Made his debut last week.
Talking about pitch framing, something Glenn Sherlock is working on very hard with Wellington Castillo as well as Jared Saltalamacchia. You may have noticed Wellington last night and Salty tonight. With nobody on base, they're likely to drop down to one knee. They want the guys to give a lower target so that they're moving up on those low pitches rather than sit high behind the plate and push those pitches down out of the strike zone. Well, he was great at it last night. A couple times dropped down to that knee, gave that real low target, and when the pitch was above his glove, he was moving back up toward the middle of the strike zone when he made the catch. That's what framing is all about. Always making that pitch look a little better than it is.
2-2. This is along the left field line, but drifting into the seats. You like the idea of going down to one knee there?
Yeah, with nobody on base, I don't think there's really any downside to it. With 2 strikes, you may want to stay up on your feet in case there's a ball in the dirt that you need to block. But with nobody on base early in a sequence to a hitter, I really don't have a problem. Now, you see there, Jared dropping down on his left knee to give a little bit of a lower target.
Because that's key for Hellickson, especially with that breaking ball and changeup he's got. It's got to be down. He gets it up, and that's when they get hit. One more time on 2-2 to Kyle Kubica. This is inside with a fastball, and it's full 3-2. Taylor Featherston is on deck. Hellickson now at 70 pitches, 44 for strikes. Trying to complete his third straight 1-2-3 inning. Here it is. This is headed toward the gap in left center. It'll drop in front of Peralta for a 2-out single. That ends a stretch of 9 straight set down by Hellickson. Just the third Angels hit tonight, all singles.
Ball was slicing back in the direction of David Peralta. You see where he starts from. That ball was hit straight in the gap in left center, but was tailing back to straightaway left. But David just couldn't get to the spot quickly enough to make the catch.
So here's Featherston, who popped up his first time up tonight. 3 for 34 on the year. Featherston prior to this year had played only 1 season above the A-ball level. But with the Angels as a Rule 5 pick, and he has struggled to hit in the big leagues. They got him in the Rule 5 draft last year. Are trying to kind of nurse him along here in the big leagues. The guy who has started games all over the infield. Third base, shortstop, and second. He's at second base tonight. They like the defense a lot, and they have a lack of middle infield depth in their minor league system, Mike Scioscia says, so they're trying to stick with Featherston here as a long-term guy. And as a Rule 5, they got to get him through this season. 1-1. The Diamondbacks have their own Rule 5 pick, catcher Oscar Hernandez, who was the first overall pick, in fact, in that draft at the winter meetings last year. Coming off that hamate bone surgery. They hope that Oscar will be able to play about first week of July or so. 1-1. Jeremy Hellickson has retired the first 2 batters he's faced in all 5 innings so far tonight. All 3 Angels hits, all singles. All 3 have come with 2 outs, including the one by Kubica that's put him at first base. 1-2 on Featherston. Bounce that one, and Kubica will take the extra base. So the tying run in scoring position, 2 outs and a 2-2 count on Featherston. Got him. Jeremy Hellickson gets his 5th strikeout and strands the tying run at second base. He's through 5 with a 1-0 lead. Of the 115th U.S. Open Championship is live from Chambers Bay Golf Course. That's in the Tacoma, Seattle area. It starts 9 in the morning on Fox Sports 1 and continues in prime time at 5 on your local Fox station. And it's all streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Chambers Bay, right along the water there, right around the Tacoma area. It's beautiful. I've been there. It's beautiful. That train takes you all the way to Safeco Field.
It can get a little gray and damp there in that area of the country. You know?
We'll be there later this year. Looking forward to a 3-game series at Safeco. Yasmani Tomas leads off the 6th. Tomas Lamb Owings 5, 6, and 7 against Garrett Richards. Shoots that one right to Pujols, who tackles it, falls down, gets up and recovers with Richards covering to get him out. Albert Pujols and Jim Wolf over there having a moment.
Cue shot right off the end of the bat. Pujols got over there in good shape. That ball kind of handcuffed him on that big hop. Came up and got him up near the chest, but he's able to stay with it, get his wits about himself, and throw it on to Richards for the out at first.
Diamondbacks have out-hit the Angels 4-3. They lead it 1-0. And just like the Angels, all the Diamondbacks hits tonight have been singles. There's a strike to Lamb, who singled to lead off the 4th his last time. He's 1 for 2. 80 pitches for Richards, 49 strikes. There's another one. Fastball, breaking ball. Called strike 3. The fastball at 95 rings him up. Third strikeout for Richards.
Couple of pitches up in the strike zone. This one down at the bottom, right at the edge. Caught enough of the plate in the estimation of Doug Eddings behind the plate tonight.
Chris Owings singled and scored the game's only run in the second. He popped up his last time up. Richards is just spotting that fastball right now. He's ahead 0-1. Diamondbacks, in fact, have not had a hit since Lamb led off the fourth with that single. Owings down 0-2. Knocks it in the hole towards second. Featherston is there. Richards covers, and he's there in time to get Owings. A nice job there by the Angels pitcher to get to that bag.
Pretty nice 4-1 put out there at first base. Richards gets there just ahead of CO.
So Garrett Richards has set down 8 straight, but the Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. By your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers. Angel Stadium, bottom 6th. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson here. Diamondbacks lead it 1-0. And Eric Ibar, the leadoff man, is first up against Jeremy Hellickson, who is working on a 3-hit shutout right now. Ibar 0 for 2, and he usually gets to be the guy to hit directly in front of Mike Trout. But with Mike Scioscia dropping the lineup down a bit, Trout is batting third tonight. And Pujols for the first time as an Angel in the cleanup spot. Here's Trout, who has one of the 3 Anaheim hits, a single in the first. He struck out his last time up against Hellickson. Mike Scioscia, his 16th season with the Angels. He is the longest tenured manager in baseball, and the player who has been with Scioscia the longest here in Anaheim is Eric Ibar. They've been together here for 10 years as manager and shortstop. There's a called strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Hellickson, who has now punched out 3 of the last 4 he's faced.
By far the best curveball we've seen from Jeremy this year. He's been able to drop it in there for strikes when he wants to, bounce it in the dirt when he's ahead in the count. It's been a real weapon for him tonight.
Cole Calhoun, who's flied out twice. 0 for 6 in the series. The former Sun Devil. They love this guy here. He's an easy player to root for. Does a little bit of everything. A lot of things well. There's a group of fans here called the Cal Hooligans. And there's another section of Calhoun fans. They sit in the Cal Zone. Get it? Cal Zone?
I'm a big fan of Cal Zones.
2-0. It's a tough room.
There's no question Calhoun takes a power swing.
He's a favorite of his teammates as well. The night after he got his first big league hit in 2012, there was a paper bag in his locker with the baseball in it. And his teammates had taken another ball, and they made sure to misspell his name. They put, they inscribed his name on it, Cole Calhoun, first hit, but Cole with a C, Calhoun with a K. And he got the souvenir ball and said, "Really?" Thanks to Chris Owings at second. And everybody had a good laugh. In fact, Calhoun thought the joke was so good he did the same thing to his father. Presented, "Here you go, Dad. Here's my first major league hit. Here's the baseball." And Dad went, "Wait, what is this?" And once again for Jeremy Hellickson, the first 2 batters in the inning have been retired. He's done that in all 6 innings, and he'll work to Mike Trout with 2 down.
6 strikeouts for Jeremy in the ball game tonight. 3 have come on fastball, 2 on curveballs, and 1 on a changeup. Really spreading it around tonight.
Oh, dropped it in there. That was gorgeous. Really doing a good job of mixing it up.
Comes right back with another one, this time lower in the strike zone, and ends up in the dirt, hoping to get Trout to chase. It's fun to watch a pitcher when he has a good feel for a breaking pitch. Throw it for strikes when he wants, throw it to the back door, throw it to the front door, bounce it in the dirt when you want to.
Fastball. And again, it's a great example of keeping guys off balance. That's, a 90-91 fastball to Mike Trout. And yet it's a very effective pitch because the curveball and the changeup have been so good tonight. One and 2. He's off the fastball that time, and Trout is back even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He has played 3 full seasons in the major leagues and finished in the top 2 in the MVP voting all 3 years. He tried fastball away. The breaking ball away doesn't work either, and it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jeremy about to throw his 90th pitch. Pujols would be next. Pujols does not have a hit in this series. 3-2 to Trout.
Well, the one thing you worry about with that curveball from Hellickson to Trout, Trout is such a deadly low ball hitter. If he would happen to leave one down around the bottom of the strike zone, as you see the split on the pitch arsenal for Jeremy tonight. Yeah, Trout loves that ball down around the knees or even lower than that. Real good low ball hit.
It's amazing how he can go down there and still be quick with the bat and get to those. Saw that last night. Fastball misses away and he walks him. First walk issued tonight by Jeremy Hellickson. And here's Pujols. Mike Harkey.
We were talking about Mike Trout being a good low ball hitter, and certainly his hot zone would bear that out. See, the red areas are where he lights it up. Loves that ball down and in. We talked last night about that lightning quick swing for a big, strong guy. Very abbreviated follow through. First base coach Alfredo Griffin in your picture right there. We were teammates together in winter ball way back in the day. And Fredo had a 1964 Ford Mustang that he had shipped back to the Dominican Republic. I mean, he stood out like a sore thumb everywhere he went in this bright red Ford Mustang, top down. Oh, he was living large down there.
Former Rookie of the Year. Andrew Chafin starts throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. 1-0 D-backs, bottom 6. 2 outs. Trout at first, and here's Pujols, who is 0 for 2 and hitless in the series. This is with a fastball away, 1-0. There was a point in the middle of last month that Albert Pujols' bat had gone really quiet. He was hitting only .223 for the season, just 6 homers, wasn't getting on base very much. But since that point, May 16th, he has looked like the Pujols of his Cardinals glory days.
Seems like that's happened every year the past 3 or 4 years. Albert will get off to a slow start, and somebody will say, well, he's done. You know, he's clearly done. He's too old. His bat's slow. And then you look up in October, and Albert's numbers are right where you expect them to be.
Last 27 games, he's hit over .330 with 12 home runs. 3 infielders on the left-hand side for the Diamondbacks, and it's 2-0. You can see Dorn holding Trout on the bag at first. He's the only guy over there on the right-hand side. Two and one. .538 homers as he climbs up the home run charts at an accelerated pace this year. He's also pursuing another milestone, 3,000 hits. He's only about 400 or so shy of 3,000. Drives it to left center field. And gone. Albert Pujols, homer, is 19th, and it's 2-1 Angels. That's 11 home runs in his last 18 games.
Center cut fastball down and out over the plate to Albert. He knew he got it all, just admired it, started walking down that first baseline. That ball didn't clear the fence by that much, but Albert knows his own strength. Bounces it up there in the rocks in left center field.
David Freese 0 for 2. We've talked about the Angels' struggling offense lately, and the idea that Mike Scioscia is desperate to get some continuity in this lineup. The Angels have hit 17 homers so far in June. Pujols and Trout have hit 14 of the 17. Right to Chris Owings, who leaps top shelf to take the base hit away from Freese. But Pujols' 19th makes it 2-1 Angels after 6.
Might have been the best player on the planet. He really might have been the best player on the planet. And I know I talked to him his first year over here because we came and played him when I was with the Cubs. And I told him at the time that that you can't expect to continue doing what you're doing, being the best player in the world for 9, 10, 11, 12 years. No one's done it in any sports.
There was Dave McKay, of course, working with Pujols in St. Louis. He talked about what a smart player Albert is. Not only does he work very hard at his craft, but now that those injuries are in the past, you know, feet, ankle issue, shoulder issue, we're seeing the damage that he can do. And even though Mac told him you can't have this longevity forever, he's looking pretty good right now. 19 home runs this season, 539 on his career, guys.
Yeah, Jody, and there's the updated list coming up on Mike Schmidt and Manny Ramirez. Shift is on for Salty. He leads off the 7th, and how the tide has turned here for most of the ball game. Jeremy Hellickson was rolling along. He'd retired 9 in a row at one point. But then Pujols' 2-run homer makes it 2-1 Angels, and in the meantime, it's Garrett Richards who's retired 8 straight. And he now has the lead as Salty leads off the 7th. Boy, he has pitched a tremendous ball game. Going to try and pick him up and get it back for him. This is sky to center for Trout. 9 straight set down by Richards, 1 away in the 7th.
Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors, NBA champs for the 2014-2015 season, and we crowned the Stanley Cup winners, Chicago Blackhawks, last night. So it's all baseball now, partner.
Wide open. Albert Pujols, 11 years in St. Louis, and during his time there was one season in the 11 when he didn't hit 300. That was 2011, and oh, by the way, they won the World Series that year. So it worked out. Here's Nick Ahmed. And I remember I was at the winter meetings when the shocker came that the Angels had ponied up a 10-year, $240 million deal for Pujols, who left St. Louis to come here. And after this season, they will still owe him $165 million. Keep in mind, he's 35 years old. He'll be 36 in January.
Boy, that's tough to even say.
It is.
Let alone spend. Wow.
And they still owe Hamilton money. Of course, they've made Mike Trout a millionaire. Decided to pay Trout as well. Gave him $144 million. And that'll complete the strikeout. 10 straight set down by Richards. He's got 4 strikeouts. Yeah, Trout's here in a 6-year, $145 million deal. He's signed through 2020. He'll make more than $33 million a year in each of the last 3 years of his contract. Then he's got a full no trade, Mike Trout. Pujols has a full no trade as well.
Yeah, pitchers aren't allowed to have pine tar on their bodies, but there's nothing in the rule book about center fielders having pine tar on the back of their glove, on the bill of their cap. You could see Trout touching his throwing fingers on the back of his glove, and then up on the bill of the cap, you can see that dark spot on the bill of his cap.
And then the baseball finds its way back to the pitcher, right? It's all loaded up.
I've never heard of a pitcher that used pine tar, to throw anything out of the ordinary. Now, Vaseline, some of the other substances that guys will put on a baseball will cause it to do funny things, but I've never heard of anybody using pine tar other than just to get a good grip. They throw the same pitches. It doesn't react any more unusual than any other pitch.
Well, a lot of the hitters will tell you they'd prefer that the pitchers use the pine tar to get that grip because they don't want to get hit.
Right.
And a lot of people will say, well, the batters have a pine tar thing in the on-deck circle. The pitcher should have a little pine tar, whatchamacallit, somewhere out there on the mound. Kubica at third. Got him. Kyle Kubica, the third baseman, with a terrific play there. The rookie third baseman for the Angels ends the 7th. And as we stretch at Angel Stadium, Richards has retired 11 straight. And it's 2-1 Anaheim. And we'll make sure that they did indeed get him at first. Glenn Sherlock on the phone with Alan Campbell.
Well, if he indeed did stay on the bag at first, that's a nice play by Pujols. Throw was wide to the outfield side.
Did the throw beat him, and did he keep his foot on the bag? Can't tell definitively from that angle, and there will be no challenge. Bottom 7th coming up. Diamondbacks trail it 2-1. Hellickson pitched a beauty, but a 2-out walk to Mike Trout and a 2-run homer by Albert Pujols in the 6th inning have made it 2-1 Angels. This was the Pujols homer, his 19th of the year. And Hellickson looking for that final out to get through 6 with a 1-0 lead. But that one has done him in, and it ended his night. He got Freese to line out to end the 6th, and now Andrew Chafin is on to work the 7th.
I mean, the home run is what it is off the bat of Albert Pujols, but the 2-out walk to Mike Trout is what's going to really stand out if this score holds up.
Matt Joyce, the left fielder, is the hitter, but Robertson will step in now and pinch hit for Joyce. Dan Robertson, who we saw last night get started in left field. So with the left-hander out there, Mike Scioscia will sit his lefty Joyce and go with Robertson, who had his first hit as a Cardinal when he singled last night. Made his Angels debut Sunday. How about this? He was playing for their AAA team in Salt Lake City over the weekend. He was picking up dinner at Taco Bell when he got the call. Get up here. You're playing on Sunday for the Angels. And he was on his way to the big leagues. But that wasn't even the best part. Robertson said the best part was that he got to miss their 6-hour bus ride to Las Vegas after their game Sunday.
That's always big.
He was here instead. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, eating steaks instead of tacos now.
6-hour bus ride with Taco Bell. Or, I mean, Taco Bell's great.
Yeah,
but,
oh yeah.
Or you're in the big leagues, $300 steak dinner. Sometimes you got to live Tomas. 1-2. Robertson played about 70 games with the Texas Rangers last year. He was sold to the Angels after last season.
You bring up an interesting point. Ball players nowadays, compared to back when I played in the minor leagues, they take such better care of themselves. They work out before and after ball games. They watch what they eat.
Chris Owings runs it down. Nice behind the back flip to Ahmed to throw it around, and Robertson is retired.
But when you're staying at a motel out by the freeway and the only place open to eat after a ball game is a gas station with vending machines, it's pretty tough to stay on a healthy diet. Nice play by CO, ranging up the middle to take a base hit away from Robertson. Yeah, there were many nights after games on the road in the California League where you go down to the corner gas station and get a microwave burrito and a carton of chocolate milk, and that was your post-game meal.
Brexit's of champions. Perez, a little looper that drops into right center. His second hit tonight. Kyle Kubica, the third baseman now. He singled his last time up. Jerry DiPoto, the GM here, whose contract was just extended, was the one that went out in the offseason and got Kyle Kubica from Atlanta. Knocks it right back up the box and into center. A pair of one-out singles for the Angels. First time the Angels had a base runner before there were 2 outs in an inning all night long. Remember, Jeremy Hellickson through the first 6 innings retired the first 2 Angels hitters every time. So now a pair of one-out base runners for Taylor Featherston. Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game. Joe Smith starting to warm up in the Angels bullpen. Featherston 0 for 2. He has popped up and struck out. 3 for 35 this year. Prior to this season, Featherston played 4 years in the Rockies minor league system. Spent last year at AA Tulsa. Hit .260 with 16 homers. A 5th round pick out of TCU by the Rockies in the 01 draft. 2011 draft, I should say, pardon me. And here's a Rule 5 pick. D-backs fans may have seen Featherston a bit. He played for the Salt River Rafters in the Arizona Fall League last year. Salt River won the Fall League championship. A lot of Diamondbacks on that team, Archie Bradley included. 2 balls and a strike.
I don't think Perez is going anywhere back there at second base, but good idea to show an inside move every now and again. Just try to shorten up that lead a little bit, give your outfielders a better chance to throw him out at the plate on a base hit.
Trying to keep this a 2-1 ball game. Coming at Jose Mota, who's got the glove, and it hit the monitor. Oh, Jose! The glove was there, and he whiffed on it. It might have been out of his range just a bit. It hit the monitor right behind him.
Save the equipment, Jose.
Just to our right here in Angels Radio. The great Jose Mota. 2-2.
Yeah, Jose Mota probably does not remember it, but when my son Michael was just a little guy, Jose was still a player. And I took Michael to a spring training game and got down on the field before the ball game. As you see, Jose just a little bit short that time. But he saw me on the field with my son Michael and disappeared, went up in the clubhouse for a little while and came back out later with a brand new glove. Now, he's a second baseman in his playing days. It was one of those little itty bitty second baseman's glove, which was the perfect size for my son at that time. We still have that glove at home.
He is one of the all-time good guys, Jose Mota. And now they have to replace the monitor in there because Jose couldn't make the play.
Protect the equipment, Jose. That's the #1 rule.
I've seen you throw yourself in front of a foul ball or two at Chase Field. Yes, he went. Jim Wolf down at first, and Featherston strikes out. 2 down in the 7th. Brings up Eric Ibar.
Turns him around to the right side against Andrew Chafin. He's hit for a higher average as a right-handed hitter. Has a little bit more sock. He doesn't have a lot of power, period, but a little more power from the left side of the plate.
Yeah, about 240 as a lefty, nearly 310 from the right-hand side. He's got Perez at second and Kubica at first. 2 outs in a 2-1 ball game. A 1-hopper right to Ahmed. They get the force on Kubica, and Chafin is out of the inning. It'll be Dorn, Goldschmidt, and Peralta, 2, 3, and 4, and the Diamondback 8. They trail it 2-1. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock with the Diamondback Live pregame show right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Get your favorite D-backs to the All-Star game. Goldie has actually increased his lead over Adrian Gonzalez at first base. That news was announced today, but it's time to get A.J. Pollock into the game as well. And so we will we'll canvass the vote, rock the vote, whatever you want. We'll try and do that tomorrow. Joe Smith, a very tough right-hander, is on for the Angels. His 28th appearance, a 3.16 ERA.
Fresh out of the witness protection program, Joe Smith. 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider, average fastball just a little bit over 88 miles an hour, so he's not overpowering.
A hit for Matt Joyce, you'll remember, the left fielder, to lead off the bottom of the 7th, so Dan Robertson will stay in the game. He'll take over in left. He started there last night. Dorn, Goldie, and Peralta 2, 3, and 4 in the Diamondback 8th against Joe Smith. Danny Dorn 1 for 3, a single in the first. In front of family and friends here. Chip Hale told us before the game tonight the Diamondbacks feel good about Dorn in the 2-hole. Chip says, look, this is a guy that makes good contact. He'll move runners along. He'll take his walks. He's heard from Phil Nevin time and time again this year how good Dorn has looked at Reno. He hit almost .430 at Reno. So they feel good about Dorn in the 2-hole tonight.
And he'll spray the ball all around the ballpark, but if he gets a pitch from the middle of the plate in, he'll pull it hard to right field, and ideally you get that leadoff man on ahead of him, open that hole on the right side of the infield, and increases Danny's chances even more of getting a base hit.
California native from Diamond Bar. About 10 minutes from here. Played at Cal State Fullerton, also about 10 minutes from here. And hopefully the California mojo will continue for Danny here in Anaheim, where he used to sell ice cream as a kid. Hits this one out to center, and that one will get down. Danny Dorn, his second hit tonight. And his first major league hit at Dodger Stadium back on May 1st, and he's got a pair of hits tonight in Anaheim.
Smith with that unusual sidearm delivery, and Dorn catches that one right off the end of the bat. Some tailing action on that fastball, and just dunks it in front of Mike Trout in center field for a leadoff hit.
Shut up, Dorn. Shut up, Dorn. Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 2 with a walk. Got a 6-game hitting streak on the line. Goldie has never played a game in the big leagues before tonight at a spot other than first base, so he's a DH for the first time at any level in his career, in fact. Trying to get him a half a day, as Chip Hale puts it.
That's one of the eternal problems for National League managers playing in American League ballparks. What do you do with that DH spot? Do you put your best pinch hitter in there and have him treat it like 4 or 5 pinch hit at bats in a game? Do you try to give one of your regulars, like tonight, a half a day off? Never an easy decision to make. I mean, most American League teams have a guy or two. That's their job. They're the designated hitter. But the National League ball clubs aren't built that way.
The fly ball that backs up Calhoun to the warning track in right, but he's got it for the first out. Now, if you go through his minor league defensive game logs, you'll find one game as a professional in which Paul Goldschmidt was playing somewhere other than first base. As a 21-year-old playing rookie ball in Missoula back in 2009, Goldie played one game in center field. And in that game, had 3 chances, made all 3 putouts, of course. David Peralta. Imagine Goldie out there in center. He'd look like Mike Trout.
Yeah.
David singled his first time up. He's 1 for 3. Joe Smith comes at you with that funky sidearm underhand delivery thing. That's in there, and it's 0-2.
Not quite submarine like Brad Ziegler, but a real low sidearm delivery. Gets a lot of tailing action on his fastball. This is a breaking ball that never gets to the outside corner, but he gets the call anyway.
Reaches down and lifts it in the air to Robertson along the left field line. 2 down. Here's Yasmani Tomas. Peralta 1 for 4. Tomas hitless tonight. He has struck out and hit into a double play. 0 for 3.
This could be a good matchup for Tomas. Good low ball hitter. Smith trying to keep everything down. Some sinking tailing action on his fastball. He tries to throw that slider around the bottom of the zone.
And Tomas this year has been crushing right-hand pitching. He has no problems at all with right-handers. Danny Dorn, the tying run at first. 2 outs here in the 8th. We talked about this at the start of the show. The Diamondbacks once again, their 7th assault on Mount 500, and they're down to their final 4 outs if they can get to 32 and 32. They've been back to within 1 game of 500 this year 6 times, and in those games they are 0-6.
Doug Eddings is doing his best to push the Diamondbacks off the hill. Man, he has called nothing but pitches below the strike zone in this inning. Forced David Peralta to swing at a pitch out of the zone to fly out to left field. First pitch here to Tomas was below the bottom of the strike zone. He got the call.
Last time the D-backs were 500, April 24th. They were 8-8. They are 31 and 32 going into this one. Tomas, a 5-game hitting streak. He's got 6 hits on the road trip, including 2 home runs. But 0 for 3 so far tonight. And down a ball and 2 strikes. Diamondbacks are on an airplane right after this ball game. So are the Angels, as a matter of fact. To continue this 4-game home and home with 2 at Chase Field tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon. Chase Anderson, Hector Santiago tomorrow. Alan Webster and C.J. Wilson in that matinee throwback Thursday. Tomas just does get a piece to stay alive.
But that slider down there at the bottom of the zone took a good rip at that one. That's a pitch that he's hit for a home run to left field twice already this season. That breaking ball that stays over the inside part of the plate and down.
That one just hung there a little bit for him. Jake Lamb would be next. Dropped it in there for strike 3. Bottom 8 coming up. A low strike ends the Diamondbacks 8. They trail it 2-1.
If I could give a word of advice to Andrew Chafin, just roll it up to the plate. He seems to like pitches down there below the bottom of the zone. Tough at bat for Yasmani. A couple of bad pitches called strikes that time around.
So it's the bottom of the 8th inning for the Angels. They'll have Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, and Albert Pujols. Calhoun, the lefty, in there against Chafin. Trout and Pujols to follow. The right-hander Delgado is warming in the Diamondback bullpen. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Chafin, who gets the lefty. And here comes Chip Hale to go get Delgado. So it'll be Delgado versus Trout and Pujols in a 1-run game in the 8th inning. Back from Angel Stadium after this. was the Cox Gig Life high-speed highlights. Mike Trout, a 2-out walk. Albert Pujols, a 2-out, 2-run homer in the 6th inning. And on to face Trout and Pujols in the 8th. The right-hander Randall Delgado with a 2.93 ERA. Trout has been aboard twice tonight, a single and a walk. And there's strike one. Rolls it to shortstop. The backhander by Ahmed. Low throw, but Dorn has it. 2 down. Here's Pujols. A home run in the 6th inning, his 19th of the year. Career home run number 539. With 2 outs in the 6th off Jeremy Hellickson. Albert Pujols with this home run is our Arizona Federal Credit Union Power Player of the Game. Closing in on Mike Schmidt, Manny Ramirez, Reggie Jackson. He's about 120 homers shy of Willie Mays for 5th all time. There's a strike, 1-1. Here's the list. Moving up the charts. He's already passed Fox and Mantle this year. Three times a National League MVP in St. Louis, including back-to-back MVP awards in 08 and 09. And over his 15-year career has 12 seasons with at least 30 home runs. 6 seasons of 40 or more. 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike. David Freese is on deck. Another former Cardinal postseason hero. A 2-out walk to Pujols.
I've talked about it in the past, the 2004 postseason when the Cardinals were playing the Houston Astros down at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Brad Lidge on the mound. It was the loudest ballpark I've ever been in. And Albert made contact and hit that home run over the train tracks in left field, and it went dead silent. I've never experienced anything like that in a ballpark before.
It took Brad Lidge a while to recover from that as well, as I recall. 95 from Delgado. Ball 1 to Freese, who's 0 for 3. And Freese getting a lot of RBI opportunities, hitting in this lineup behind Trout and Pujols. In fact, he has come to bat with runners in scoring position more than any other Angels hitter this year. He's got 34 RBIs. 2 O's in the seats. Take a look at our Chevron upcoming pitching matchup as this 4-game home and home moves back home for us to Chase Field. Games tomorrow night and Thursday afternoon. Chase Anderson and Hector Santiago. In Game 3 tomorrow, Diamondback Live pregame show at 6. 2-1 is in there. Drives it to right center field. And that ball is gone, a home run. David Freese, his 10th. And it's 4-1 Angels.
And once again, a 2-out walk ahead of the home run doubles the damage.
A 2-out walk and a homer in the 6th. A 2-out walk and a homer in the 8th.
Pitch up and out over the plate. David Freese has real good opposite field power. He's one of those right-handers that can backspin a ball that direction and gets that one up over the out-of-town scoreboard for a 2-run homer.
And dropped it back onto the field. So now it's a 3-run deficit. Robertson hits it off of Delgado. Lamb tries to recover and throws it away. It's a base hit for Robertson. Now they'll look at Delgado. Here comes Ryan DePanfilo, the assistant trainer.
Ball hit right back through the box. Kick save over to the left side of the infield where Jake Lamb makes a nice barehanded play. Unfortunately, his throw is wide of the bag at first. I don't think they would have had a chance to get Robertson anyway.
Number 58.
Brings up Carlos Perez. He has a pair of hits, 2 for 3, couple of singles. What is it about Mount 500 and that Hillary step?
The Diamondbacks pitching had been so good. They'd allowed runs to score in only 2 of 41 innings. But now 2 of the last 3, a couple of 2-run homers, one by Pujols in the 6th and one by Freese here in the 8th.
We talked about that turn through the rotation, and this was the 5th starter, and about how good the Diamondback starting pitching has been. Jeremy Hellickson was terrific. All the way through 5 2/3. Then the walk to Trout, the homer by Pujols. And he was as good as we've seen him in a Diamondback uniform tonight.
Well, once again, it's that feast or famine offense that we've talked about this year. In 7 of the Diamondbacks' 31 wins, they've scored 7 or more runs. They've scored 7 last night against the Angels, but only 1 tonight. And in 12 of the 32 losses, they've scored 1 or 0 runs.
Robertson, the runner at first. 1-0 to Perez. D-backs in the 9th inning will have Lamb, Owings, and Salty 6, 7, and 8. Against who I presume will be Houston Street, the closer. There is some action in the Angels bullpen. There goes Robertson. Perez lines it to Peralta in left. And that ends the inning. But the Angels get 2 more on the Freese homer as we go to the 9th inning. Houston Street coming in, Diamondbacks down 4-1. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot right now at dbacks.com/vote. Voting is only online this year. You can vote on your computer, your tablet, your smartphone. You can vote up to 35 times from the same email address. So get online, rock the vote. dbacks.com/vote. The closer is on for the Angels with a 4-1 lead. Just signed a 2-year contract extension here in Anaheim last month. It's Houston Street, second in the American League with 19 saves.
Sinker, slider, changeup combination. Diamondbacks are certainly very familiar with Houston Street from his days with the San Diego Padres.
Jake Lamb, Chris Owings, and Jared Saltalamacchia 6, 7, and 8 in the Arizona ninth, the highest save percentage since 2011. Houston Street gets it done better than anyone else in the business. Former Texas Longhorn in there against the Washington Husky, Jake Lamb. Jake 1 for 3, a single in the fourth. He struck out his last time up.
Straight with that very unique windup. Starts on the first base side of the rubber, takes a huge step down the hill on the left side of the mound before coming back into his set position.
It is a signature delivery, that's for sure. You know who's out there.
Absolutely. It's probably not what you would teach a young pitcher. You know, normally you want guys to keep their legs underneath them, be very balanced out there on the mound, but this is something that's worked for Houston Street his whole career.
One and two. All right, to the second baseman, Featherston. Well, our broadcast booths here at Angel Stadium are right in foul ball territory, and those are our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool plays of the game. First, Mark Gubicson on Angels TV, and then Jose Mota just misses on Angel Radio. The glove was there. The monitor, however, rest in peace.
Go figure, a middle infielder with a glove doesn't make the play, but a pitcher with no glove makes a catch in the booth to our left.
I find it amazing that Jose actually does the games wearing the glove, because if you have one hit back here, there's no time to react. So you have to be wearing the glove for it to be of any use. And so he's over there, glove in hand.
I think catcher's gear may be the way to go.
Start a new trend.
Block him.
We're going to hook you up with a special headset and microphone to fit over the mask.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris Owings gets that out to deep left center field. Trout on the run. And he runs it down. Well, that's the third straight game we've seen CO barrel one up there deep into the outfield. It's starting to come back for him a little bit.
Yeah, you see where Trout is playing, a few steps over to the gap in right center. Got a good read off the bat and just supreme speed out there in center field. He was just kind of gliding after that ball. Then he shifted into high gear for 2 or 3 strides and then went into glide again at the very end.
And the Angels put the shift on for Salty. He walked in the fourth. He's 0 for 2, flat out twice. Diamondback Live post-game show follows our ball game. Seeing two teams tomorrow from Chase Field. We'll have Wednesday's game for you on Fox Sports Arizona. A throwback Thursday game, the series finale, a matinee game, 12:40 start. High chopper, Street is on it, and that rolls foul. So radio only on Thursday. Hope to see you out there at Chase Field. Leave your air conditioning off. Use ours. We'll turn it up for you. A hot week back home. Throwback Thursday, matinee game, Diamondbacks Angels. Alan Webster and C.J. Wilson. Just barely does let it go foul. Thought about picking it up then. 0-2 to Saltalamacchia. Got him. And the Diamondbacks winning streak ends at 4. The Angels on a pair of 2-run homers, one by Pujols and one by Freese, both former Cardinals, win it 4-1. And the Angels even the series of a game apiece as we played 2 more at Chase Field.
Diamondbacks just couldn't seem to get anything going offensively tonight. They had some chances early in the ball game, left the bases loaded in the first, left a man on in the second, 2 more in the fourth, but just couldn't come up with that one big knock to blow it open.
And the Diamondbacks, no home runs hit in today's game. Remember, fans, every Diamondbacks home run raises $12,000 for prostate cancer research, and we urge you to make a pledge right now. You can go online, homerunchallenge.org, and we've talked about it time and time again. The Diamondbacks, last time they were 500, 8-8 back on April 24th, and now 7 times they have gotten back to within 1 game of 500. And in those 7 games, they have gone 0-7. Diamondback Live post-game show brought to you by CenturyLink is next here on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks drop this one 4-1. More from Angel Stadium after this.